Previously, we noted that during these challenging times where we are faced with a culture of Christmas, where we are surrounded by a culture which is alien to our basic beliefs of Islam, but at the same time we have to participate or live in the society that we're in Europe. And many of us have this additional challenge of having very close family who may be involved in worship other than the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Going back to the point that I tried to make previously, is that categories of actions during this period fall into, there are several categories. One, that which is not permitted in any way, and that involves worshipping anything which is other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or breaking his commands. And an example of this is getting involved in the drinking of alcohol, providing the alcohol, buying the alcohol, drinking the alcohol. And here we have a question of how far can one go in terms of where haram actions were being made which are not permitted within Islam. How far are you allowed to be close to those people? Let's take the two examples of worship. The question, are you allowed to enter into a church? We know that we are allowed to enter in the church. This was a precedent set by Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab when he went to Jerusalem. He entered into the church. We know that entering into the church is not in itself forbidden. We know that joining people in their state of happiness, for example, the general celebrations, is itself not permitted, is self-permitted. However, the worship is not. And therefore, if one was to enter into the church and, for example, accompany an elderly relative who needs your support, one can accompany them. However, the limit would be that when there is worship taking place, that you are not allowed to get involved in that worship. And that would include, for example, the singing of hymns, because the singing of hymns would, in most Christian practices, involve praise of God in a particular way which may not be acceptable. And certainly any prayers, one may bow one's head, for example, lower one's head in respect to them praying, but one is not allowed to pray with them. One might, for example, read the Fatiha when they read the Lord's Prayer, for example, or any other prayer. When it comes to the consumption of alcohol, one has to try and avoid one's best to not participate in anything which is and has to limit oneself in how far they go. We ask Allah to guide us and help us in all of these matters.